Now we go straight to our next beautiful segment, the Shark Tank. The sharks are in the water.
Welcome to Oorah's Shark-Tank. The battle for a cause.
You are wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong.
Rabbi Kravitz, that's the best you got?
The tension.
Rabbi Biederman, it's clear you're not listening.
The excitement.
It's clear that my program is the program.
The yelling.
I'm not going to raise my voice at you. It's simple logic.
You can believe in your mission, but can you sell it?
And now our next shark is about to enter the studio this evening. He is a highly successful entrepreneur who has been a dedicated supporter of Oorah for many, many years, and he will finally get to choose where in Oorah his money goes. Welcome to the Shark Tank, Isaac Mavorah. Welcome. Same rules as before apply. Rabbi Biederman, Rabbis Reichman, Kravitz, and Biederman will each have 60 seconds to pitch their program. Now, for the sake of our viewers, this is going to be an entirely different pitch, I'm assuming, than it was for Mr. Zucker before. And you listen, you'll have a couple seconds afterwards to ask him some questions, to redirect, to cross-examine, however you want to say it. And then you get to decide, and you'll tell us where your money will be going. Rabbi Reichman, you'll begin. 60 seconds.
Okay, Mr. Mavorah. Being that you are from the Syrian community of Deal, I do not have to tell you how important the sense of community and family is. And my pitch to you is that Torah Mates is what creates the sense of family and community throughout all our programs here in Oorah. Torah Mates is the program that encompasses the entire family. The parents, the children, anyone in the family that is interested in the Torah Mate will get a Torah Mate. It also gives the personal touch between our participants, that the Torah Mate can invite them for Shabbos, for Yom Tov, the Shiri Shabbos, Simchas. Actually, my wife's Torah Mate came with her family to our house for the first days of Pesach. My wife's been learning with her for a number of years. They started off totally assimilated, and now they are well in the way from, they moved to a community that the children are in a yeshiva. They moved from their community to a community where they can put their children in a yeshiva, and they're totally Shem Shabbos, totally from. And that came through the closeness of their Torah mates and their family. And you can invite, also you can, and through the Torah mates, we can strengthen all the other programs. As you may be aware that our camp department has a Torah mate which keeps the kids connected throughout the year, and tuition and we have retreats, Shabbatons, that people come together with the Torah mates to spend the Shabbos and Yom Tov and the Chagim together.
Thank you, Rabbi Reichman. Rabbi Kravitz, so your 60 seconds begins right now.
Shavua Tov and Agut Tavach, and thank you for coming, and thank you for donating all these years.
50 seconds.
Rabbi Reichman and Rabbi Biederman present a great case, and Torah Mates is great, and tuition is great, but I need to talk to you about camp, and I got a few seconds to do it. Everybody knows the summer months could be the worst months in a child's life, or could be the best months in a child's life. Everybody knows that in the summer, when we're not in our structured school environment, we have a way to take things in and see things that we never have before. Our camp in the summer invites children that are not religious to come to the zone and experience not just the school hours of the day, not just a Torah Mate get together once a week or the like. This is to live as a Torah Jew with excitement and with everything being relevant and alive for 4 weeks straight, 24/7 hours a day. That getting their attention for those 24/7 hours a day is something that these other programs do not have an ability to do, just based on the sheer when they take place and things like that. I get the kids for
okay,
4
Rabbi Kravitz, I'm sorry, you've reached the end of your allotted time.
Thank you so much for listening. I can go on and on, but I got stuff.
Okay, Rabbi Biederman, go ahead.
I'm sure at home you get many letters from yeshivot asking you, soliciting you for contributions. I know I get several hundred times a year. And Oorah is probably the only. We're not, as you've seen, we're not a tuition subsidy organization. We're a kiruv organization. We take the whole package. But our tuition subsidies alone run about $2 million a year. That's $200,000 a month for 10 months. It's $200,000. Even though people can't hear me. It's $200,000 a month for 10 months. We have 600 children enrolled, over 600 children enrolled in yeshivot and day schools throughout the United States, Canada, and Israel. Many of our students go on to spend years in Israel. And that is the success of our program. It's not just, we are giving millions of dollars that are helping children, and they're helping other mostot directly. And these children are getting put into an environment where they can where they can grow, where they can achieve. Our kids in Israel are doing great. We all know the importance. So many people go for a gap year in Israel. Those kids got to the gap year because they went through our tuition program, and now they're spending a year in Israel eating the fruits of the labors that were invested.
Excellent, excellent, very good presentation. So what are you thinking, Isaac?
First of all, each one of you gave great presentations. Thank you very much. Rabbi Reichman, I have a question for you. How many Shabbatons did you think you did in the last year?
Including Chagim? About 15.
This is Torah mates?
15.
Torah mates.
15?
Torah mates.
All of our Shabbatons and Chagim, we, there's only 2 of them that are strictly for Torah mates.
2.
But all that are strictly for Torah mates. But all of them are focuses, and we give preference to any of our participants that would like to come together with the Torah mates.
Okay, now you weren't clear about that originally. I'm just saying. You made it sound like everything was Torah
I was
mates.
cut off before I was able to clarify. I was cut off rudely before I was able to clarify myself.
Okay. It sounded like Jeb Bush on the Iraq War. Knowing what he knows now, he may know now, or he may not know now.
Try to deflect from the issue at hand over here.
Rabbi Kravitz is going to say that it's all camp, and Rabbi Kravitz is going to sell bunny rabbits. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Rabbi Kravitz, I have a question for you, if I may. This last summer, how many campers do you think were greatly affected by your work?
So there's a very good question. What's our success rate? And how do we know that we're successful or not?
And how do you gauge it? I mean,
how do you gauge if we're successful or not? So if you'd like to count the amount of kids we put into yeshiva, I can give you that number, but that wouldn't be the gauge of success, right? If you'd like to know that the amount of kids that walked out with a tremendous love and feeling for Judaism on whatever level that they are, I'm not going to say 100%, because anyone that tells you that your investment's 100%, you know that don't go with them. But the place is like a Disney World where everyone's happy, just like when you go to Disney World. The parking attendant at the gate looks happy, and you know he's not happy. But I use that example in the zone. Everyone's happy, and the kids, everything is done with a smile, with love, with warmth. And the point is that they can actually grow after camp to the other programs within Oorah.
And the truth of the matter is the summer experience is 100%. The summer experience, the warmth, the happiness, the joy, that's 100%.
I guess I'm picking up where Rabbi Weiss's money is going.
Rabbi Weiss could say that, but I can't say that because I'm trying to get your donation.
I think what Rabbi Kravitz is trying to say is the way we gauge the success of camp is as many campers as keep up with the Torah mates. That's how successful we know we are.
I just want to deflect. We would love for, again, 100% of the campers to keep up with Torah mates, but I can't tell you that it happens. Some kids get home. Some kids get home and their parents say that they're not really interested. But again, without camp, they never hear about Torah mates or they never hear about tuition.
Thank you, Rabbi Kravitz. Rabbi Biederman, Rabbi Reichman and Rabbi Kravitz make a very good case, and they've been fighting very ferociously to try to get my donation. How are you going to convince me that I should give it to you instead?
Because you want to put your money where it really counts. And Jewish experience and feel good is wonderful. But the bottom line is, without a Jewish education, and as I said earlier in my previous presentation, which you didn't hear, with keeping them in an environment that undermines,
it's a little insulting for the donor.
that undermines what the other programs are teaching him. They can go to Torah mate. The kid can have a Torah mate, and the kid could be in camp for 2 months a year. But for 10 months a year, they're in an environment where they're hanging out with non-Jewish kids, and they're being inculcated with non-Jewish values. They're walking down hallways that are promoting all sorts of lifestyles and all sorts of teachings and all sorts of educational programs that undermine anything Rabbi Kravitz can do in 2 months. is undermined in far less than 2 months.
Rebbeinu Shalom, how are they getting to hear about Torah mates or tuition? They don't come, they don't just walk in magically to the Oorah office. We need to,
you know how they got in the camp?
I almost made my decision.
That's wrong. One second. The adults.
I'm hanging on one
The
last.
adults heard about Torah mates, and then our Torah mate coordinators convinced them to send their children to camp. That's how they heard about camp, through the adult Torah mate program.
How do you keep them there?
So again,
with the Torah mates,
if he had all the money in the
there.
world, I'm sure he would want to support all of us. And by the way, we don't want this to sound like the opening of the Israeli Knesset. I watched it last week. If you saw that, didn't look that pretty. But at the end of the day, you want a springboard? You want the kids to hear about Oorah? Come to the zone.
Springboards are wonderful. Kids drown.
Let me tell you something. You know what? I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about this and I'm saying, you know what's wonderful? You know what's truly wonderful? That that Oorah has indeed. You know, you guys are fighting for the funding, for Isaac's funding. But what's really wonderful is that Oorah does actually have all 3 of these programs, and that's really, I think that's the most important. You know,
and many others.
Auction.
But
let's hear what
who's getting Isaac's money? That's the question here.
I'll tell you, Rabbi Weiss, with your permission, I can't make a decision. I don't know what to do here.
I think you should ask a Rav. And the Rav would tell you, give to all 3.
Okay.
Then I think I'm going to take the Rav's advice. I'm going to give each one of you $1,800 for each one of your programs. I just couldn't make a decision. Each one of you made a great case, and I've come to the point where I can't make a decision, so it has to be all 3.
That is the most. That is called being decisive with your indecision. You know, it wasn't like I can't really decide, so I'm not giving anybody everything. It's more like I can't just make a decision. We'll give you all $1,800. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you
so much for your donation. And all of you out there this evening can call in White 8777 auction. You don't have to give $1,800 to each program. $5 auction would be absolutely wonderful. And now for a word from our sponsors, Gornished Hangout.